Good morning, students. I hope you all are very well. So, let's continue with part 2 of History, Chapter 9, Women, Caste and Reforms. We, you all know that in part 1 we have studied about the introduction, what were the various changes being brought by reformers, how was the life of widows being changed, and how the girls started to go into school. Now, let's begin with part 2 without any delay. Caste and social reforms. The Pratna Samaj adhered or told that the tradition of bhakti that believed to spiritual equality of all classes, means bhakti was a tradition or a process which could lead to equality among all the people or of all class. And if we go to Bombay, the Paramhans Mandali, which was founded in the year of 1840, it worked for the abolition of caste or abolition of caste system, and many of these reformers and members, they were belong to the upper caste. Often there was many meetings in which these reformers would violate the caste taboos or the caste system on food and touch, so that by this effort they can get rid on the hold of caste prejudice in their lives. There were also other who questioned or who thought that the injustice of caste social order is not good for the society. And during the 19th century, the Christian missionaries began to set up school for the tribal people and many lower class children. So, here on your screen, you could see image of many social reformers of India. I could tell you some names. First is Rajaram Mohan Roy. Second is Swami Vivekanand ji. Third is Swami Dayanand Saraswati ji. Jyotirao Phule ji, Mother Teresa ji. And there were many social reformers or person who tried to bring the social justice in Indian society. Caste and social reform. These children were equipped with some resources so that they could make their way or they could live the life in changing world. Means these children were given some resources to help with, and at the same time the poor started to leave or left the villages so that they could go towards cities and do job and earn their better livings. There was work, factories were set up in cities and there was work and people were required. And also there was many jobs in municipalities also. There was a big increase in demand of laborers as the drains have to be dug, roads have to be laid, buildings have to be constructed, and cities must be cleaned. So for these jobs people were being required. The above work required coolies, diggers, carriers, bricklayers, cleaners, sweepers, palanquin bearers, rickshaw pullers, etc. Means if there is work, there will be a person required. You could understand by this. Now, law against child marriage. With the growth of women organization, as the women organization being started to grow, and there was writing on these issues, the momentum of reform or the reforms related to any movement started to gain their strength. People challenged another established custom. Means as the time passed, people started to challenge or oppose the child marriage. There were a number of Indian legislature in Central Legislative Assembly who fought to make a law. Means there were many Indians who were in the Central Assembly. They tried to make a law which could prevent child remarriage. And in 1929, the Child Marriage Restraint Act it was passed, and according to the act, which was in passed, woman age 18, sorry, boy aged 18 and woman or the girl age 16 could not marry. And by the time the limit was being increased or raised as 21 for men and 18 for women. So here on your screen you can see a cartoon in which a girl who was studying in a school getting the basic education, she was forced to remarry, she was forced to marry man. And on this cartoon you can clearly see that the girl is not happy, she wants to study more so that she could earn her living. And with this act of marriage she was not happy and she was crying, you can clearly see in the image. Where did this child live? Where did this labor came from? The poor who belongs to village and small towns, many of them they were from the lower caste, and they began to move towards cities where there was a demand or more requirement of laborers. Some of these laborers were sent in Assam, Mauritius, Trinidad, and in Indonesia for work. Work in the new location was very hard, and one cannot adjust easily in the new area. And the people who belong to lower caste, they saw this an opportunity, or they thought that going to a new place will get away, will take them away from the bad condition which of life which they are having in their hometown. There were many other jobs such as army offered many opportunities for the people. A number of Mahar people who were regarded as untouchable, they found jobs in Mahar regiment in the army. The father of Dr. P.R. Ambedkar, who was the leader of Dalit movement, he taught at an army school. Demand for equality and justice. By the second half of 19th century, means around 1915, 1916, people from within the non-Brahman caste, they began to organize movements, and in that movement they started to raise their voice against the caste discrimination being faced by many people, and they want that there must be equality for all people and justice being, or the justice must be provided. The Sanatani movement in central India was founded by Ghasidas, who worked among the leather workers and organized a movement so that the leather workers could improve their living standards in the society. And if you go to eastern Bengal side, Haridas Thakur's Matua sect, it worked among the Chandala cultivators. Haridas questioned Brahmical texts which supported that caste system must be prevail. Haridas was having question against this, as he wants this caste system should not prevail, as the caste system is a barrier for the development in the society. Shri Narayan Guru, he proclaimed the ideals of unity of his people. He argues that treating people unequally or in a bad manner on the basis of caste difference is not good. And according to him, all human beings belong to the same caste. One of his famous statements was Orijati Oru Matam Oru Daivam Manushyanu, means one caste, one religion, and one God for all humankind. All these sects were founded by the leaders who came from non-Brahman caste and worked amongst themselves. They tried to change those habits, means the people who come from non-Brahman Samaj, they tried to change, or they wanted to change the habit and practice which provoke the contempt, or which could help the upper caste to dominate over the lower caste. They tried to create sense of self-esteem among the subordinate caste. Means they tried to show that all persons are equal and there must not be injustice on the base of caste. Gulamgiri. Jyotirao Phule was one of the most vocal among the lower caste leaders, means most famous. He was born in 1827 and he studied in the school which was being set up by various missionaries, Christian missionaries. And when he was growing up, he developed his own ideas regarding the injustice happening in the society on the basis of caste. He set out the attack by the Brahmins, or he argued that, or he questioned that the Brahmins claimed that they were superior to others since they were Aryans. He also said that Aryans was not belong to Indian land, as Aryans were foreigners who came from outside of the subcontinent and defeated and subduged the true children of the country. In Jyotirao Phule says that as the upper caste treated themselves superior because they were Aryans, but Aryans were not the true resident of this land, as they came from foreign, defeated the original or the actual children of the country who were been living here from before the coming of the Aryans. According to Jyotirao Phule, the upper caste has no right, or they don't have enough, they must not have enough power to their land, and in reality the land belonged to indigenous people, means lower, means he wants to say that the land does not belong to upper caste people, and the land which upper caste having the ownership belongs actually to the lower caste people. Fully claimed that the Aryans rule, there existed a golden age when the warrior peasants tilled the land and ruled the Maratha countryside in just and fair ways. Means Phule wants to says that before Aryans there was a golden age in which peasants ruled the countryside in fair manner. He also proposed that, or he also said that the Shudras, the laboring caste, and the Ati Shudra, the untouchables, they should unite, or they must come together to oppose the caste discrimination in the society. The Satya, the Satya Shodhak Samaj. It was an association which Phule founded to promote the caste equality. In 1873, Jyotirao Phule wrote a book which was named as Gulamgiri, means slavery. 10 years before this, means 1863, there was an American Civil War being fought, and the result of Civil War was the end of slavery in America. Phule dedicated his book to all those Americans who fought to free the slaves, means to end the slavery. Thus, there was a link which was being connected or established between the condition of lower caste in India and black slaves in America. Means there was a connection between lower caste of Indian people and the black people who fought the American Civil War. As this example shows, Phule extended his criticism of the caste system. Phule continued to question the caste system and wants to finish the all kinds of or all forms of inequality in the society. He was very much concerned about the plight of upper caste women, the miseries of labor, or in other words, we can say the poor condition of upper caste women, the miseries of labor, and the humiliation of the lower class or the bad treatment of lower class by the upper class people. This movement by the Jyotirao Phule of the caste reform was continued in the 20th century by Dalit leaders like Dr. B.R. Ambedkar to Western India and E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar in the south. Now, who could enter the temple? Ambedkar, who was born in a Mahar family, and as a child, he experienced or he saw that the caste prejudice mean in everyday life, or he was able to see the caste injustice. And after finishing the school, he got a fellowship, a sponsorship to go to US for higher studies. When he came back to India in 1919, he wrote about the upper caste power in the contemporary society and in the today's society. And in 1927, Ambedkar started temple entry movement in which Mahar caste followers participated with him. Means he wanted that the lower caste people must be allowed to enter and to enter the temple and pray to God. Brahman priests were outraged. Brahman priest or priests in Hindi we can say the pandits. They were very much or we can say they were not happy when the Dalits used water from the temple tank. Ambedkar led three such movements for the temple entry between 1917 and 1935. His aim was to make everyone to see the power of caste prejudice within the society. It means that he was having the aim or he wants that everyone must see the power of caste inequality in the society. E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar, or also known as Periyar, he founded the self-respect movement. He questioned that the untouchables were the true upholders or the true leaders of an original Tamil and Dravidian culture, but they were being subjugated by the Brahmins, or the Brahman took the superiority with them. He felt that all religious authorities saw social divisions and inequality as God given. He says that all the religious authorities was given by God. Or he wants to says that all religious authorities saw social division and inequality as God given. Untouchable has to free themselves. I mean, the untouchable person have to free themselves, therefore, from all religions in order to achieve their social equality among people. This assertion did not go unchallenged. There was a forceful speeches, writings, and movements of by the lower caste leaders did, did lead to rethink and self-criticism among the upper caste leaders. Means this movement was not gone empty-handed. There were changes being made. But Orthodox Hindu society also reacted by founding Sanatan Dharma Sabha and Bharat Dharma Maha Mandal in the north, and the association like Brahman Sabha in Bengal. The object of this association means why this association been formed, so that to uphold or to maintain caste distinction, the caste level in Hinduism, and to show this was being sanctified by the scriptures, or it was being given in the scriptures. Debates and various struggles on caste equality it continued beyond the colonial period, means after in 1947, and we can also see in current time that these debates and struggles are been continuing. So students, here come the end of this chapter. I hope you have understood this chapter. Read this chapter again and again, listen to this audio, video, visual many times so that you could understand this chapter in easy manner. Thank you and have a nice day.